medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to or something. Stop taking Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, fierce stomach pain, itching, cramps, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may include
Okay. Dixie School. Big tank plastic. The road was 50 foot wide and 30 foot deep. So got 8 foot long. Put it together, 6 foot, gives a shoulder, put it together. Aluminum, they're about 8 or an inch, maybe, not a quarter, it's about 8. You still got one in your yard, and you hadn't used it.
I'm being 6 foot.
Don't sell it. How long is it?
I can't, I think we took, I can't remember.
We got all the bolts in it.
Well, most of everything we put, I think about them, you know, they're not all the same.
Yeah.
Put them together and
Yeah, we have melted a lot of holes and, you know, get it right, but I don't get, it's 40 foot, 40, 50 foot long, that's all, but if you don't want
In a triangle.
I've got one coming up, I'm gonna add something to it, or I add another one in, it's got a 6 footer in there, I will put more 6 footers in.
This is the only place I This is the only place I practice if it doesn't get done.
There's holes in it, that dirt, that water goes through there, goes to swirls that down. Direction. Yep. I got to get 18 months, imagine all this dirt. Wash out.
I went in there and put that round back around the seams.
Yeah.
So they bolt together, like 10 foot section to 20 foot section.
4 or 5 foot.
You need a horn? I was just curious, talking about that lemon, I got 8 foot. It would have been nice on that creek road, I keep washing out. 36 is get stopped up pretty bad.
It's big.
I've got 9 a.m. Monday, July 13th, 2020, where we'll have the call the regular meeting of the Montague County Commissioners Court session. We'll start if Commissioner Langston would like to give
Dear Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day that you blessed us with. We thank you, dear Lord, for all the rain that you've sent our way, kept our pastures, everything green. Pray, dear Lord, you'll just be with this Commissioner's Court today and help us to make the best decisions possible for Montague County. Keep it all and ask that you keep it in peace and harmony, dear Lord, and everything will work well. Pray, dear Lord, would you just be with those ones with this coronavirus and help all this come to an end someday. Pray, dear Lord, you'll just forgive us for many sins and shortcomings, and pray this in Jesus' precious holy name. Amen.
Pledge of allegiance and the pledge of Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the one state under God, one and indivisible.
Next item we have on our agenda is public comments. I have not received anything requesting public comments. Is there anyone here who wishes to make a public comment? All right. We'll move on. Item number 4 is our consent agenda, which covers approval of minutes, examine all accounts and reports relating to the finance of the county, audit and settle all accounts against the county, and direct their payments and approve payroll.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Murphy, seconded by Commissioner Langford. All in favor? Unanimous. Item number 5 is our COVID-19 operational update, and we've requested that Dr. McKay be here to speak to us, and he's here. Doctor, would you like to talk to us about that?
Yeah, does anybody have any questions to answer first pertaining to it? Otherwise, I'll just kind of give you an overview of where we're at now. Okay. As of now, according to the state, we have 31 total cases. A list I get every day at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes 7, back to the judge. It hasn't, the ages go from age 4 to age 76. We've had 1 death. This is, if you look at the dates that we have when they go off quarantine, most of these on here are off quarantine already. We have some that will go off on the 17th, the 14th, and the 15th. That's 3, and then we'll go to 0. The state is about 5 days behind what we get in the clinic that I'm at. We have got 1 positive every day. They're not on this list. They haven't been confirmed by the state, as their addresses are confirmed, that they actually are residing in this county. That's part of the thing the state does to confirm that they are really here, that they've been contacted, that they are quarantined, and who they have come in contact with, what is their job, and those type of things. And that takes about 5 days. And that's why some of this stuff is already 5 to 6 days behind by the time I get it here. So I know those. We notify the EMS and local jurisdictions of the addresses so that if EMS goes out there or the police go out there, they're aware of that they must wear PPE. That's what we tell them. Other than that, it is getting worse. It is not going down. That's kind of the bottom line. Any questions?
You said your list, Dr. McKay, shows 31 cases in Montague since day 1, I
Since
guess.
day 1, yes, sir.
And how many, just for my knowledge, how many are active out of that 31 now?
Right now, 3.
Okay. So the rest of them are their time has expired,
Their time
or
has
the
expired.
quarantine has, and other than 1 death, we've got 3 active cases.
Yes, sir.
All
We
right.
got 5 pending right now.
That I know of. I don't know about the other clinics or people that have gone out of the county to the drive-through site in Bridgeport or Wichita Falls. Like I say, those are lagging, and they lag about 5 days for the state to confirm that they really are residing here. Now, they may live here, get tested positive, and go stay with relatives out of county. Well, we don't get those. Those are not to my list. They must be residing in the county. And they try to confirm that. That's the tracing that they do to determine where they work. who they come in contact with, who else do they need to, where this is coming from. I will tell you that the positives we are getting are coming from weddings, funerals, and jobs. And their ages are young. Their ages are 21, 25, 22, 26, and 24. And the ones that are active right now are young. If one young person normally will come in contact with between 100 to 400 people during the 14 days that they can be contagious. Let's say they just come in contact with 100 people. 80 of those people get positive, but they do not have any symptoms. They will not be sick, but they will be spreading it. 20 of those people will get sick. 4 of those people are going to die. So how many people, go pick the 4 people you want to die and go talk to them without a mask. The mask is primary to keep you from spreading it to other people. It's the right thing to do. To keep, if you really care about people, wear a mask. That can help. And that's where we're at right now.
Dr. K, you might not know the answer to this, but I'm just curious. What about the surrounding county that touch us? Are they more or less about the same as us?
They're going up. Everybody's going up. Yes, sir.
Is that because there's more testing going on?
No, it's because more people get sick. The number of negatives are very, very high. They're getting about 15% of the people they test positive. We really can't open fully by a public health and infectious disease standard till it reaches under 5%. Under. And right now we're at 15 and 20. Some counties are 20, 25, and some counties are average about 15. 1 in 15 tests come back positive. Back when we first started, it was much lower, but now it's just climbing. Any other sad news y'all want me to tell you?
I appreciate what you do, Dr. McKay.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be service to the county.
And Dr. McKay, I will tell you, for stepping in here, Dr. McKay has been a huge asset for me and the reports he sends to me each day, and always makes himself available to discuss any questions I have. So again, yes, sir, we appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right, we'll move on to item number 6, which is discuss and consider approving the bonds for Kevin Benton, County Judge, and Jack Pig, Justice of the Peace, and take necessary action.
More on that, Judge Precinct Jennifer S. Esri, County Auditor. Is that right? There's,
Yes.
there's 3 of y'all.
That shows 3 also, shows you and Jack, Pig, and Jennifer on the, you're not looking on that. Let's see if I got it. For yours, and then below right here, precinct 2. Okay. No, I guess you don't. Different, I guess.
So I don't have an update.
Well, I'll make, I guess yours is due, isn't it, Jennifer, you know?
It's just a renewal.
Yeah, mine's a renewal and is not required, renewals are not required to be approved by the court, only the initial bond, a renewal of a bond is not required, but it's better to have it on there than not.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve all 3 bonds, give you the authority, or I guess they're already been signed. Whoever needs the authority to sign them.
Second. So, motion by Commissioner Langford, second by Commissioner Mayfield. Any further discussion? All in favor? All Item number 7. Discuss and consider approving the Business Solutions Group LP scanning software proposal for the elections office and take necessary action. I spoke with Ginger this morning. She's actually having to deliver equipment, so wasn't able to be here. Essentially what this is software that she that she requires that will, it scans all of her mail, by mail votes, all correspondence, all her voter registration. This is something that on the previous grant, money that she had obtained, this is money from that grant. So it's money that she already has. She is requesting, it's $6,975 for this software. And requesting, giving her permission to sign for this and receive those funds to buy that software.
Make a motion, Judge, to approve the $69.75 from Vista Solutions software for the elections administrator office and give her the authority to sign it, or do you sign it?
You do.
Okay.
So,
Motion by Commissioner Langford, second by Commissioner Murphy. All in favor? All voted for. All right, item number 9. Discuss and consider presentations by Amy Hanley of Drug and Alcohol Testing Compliance Services. And then also it looks like we have Turk Largent of Safe at Work.
Back up just a little bit,
All right,
Judge. On line 8, we've got one there.
Oh, I'm sorry, I checked it off. Go back to line 8. Discuss and consider approving engagement letter with Edgen, Parkman, Fleming, and Fleming PC and take necessary action. And what that is, as I'm understanding this is simply the agreement for them to provide the outside auditing services for us again this coming year that they have already provided previously. It looks like this year their estimate for providing these services is going to be $30,500, which it looks like is a $200 increase. But if I'm understanding correctly from our auditor, we have $35,000 budgeted, so we're in good shape.
I'll make a motion that we approve the engagement letter with Edgen, Parkman, and Fleming.
Second.
So a motion by Commissioner Murphy and a second by Commissioner Langford. Any discussion? All in favor? All voted for. All right, now let's go to number 9. Discuss and consider presentations by Amy Hanley of Drug and Alcohol Testing Compliance Services. And then also we have Turk Largent here representing Safe at Work. And so, Amy Hanley, if you'd like to.
Good morning, everyone. I have a friend, Jaime with me. He's my colleague. We're from Drug and Alcohol Testing Compliance Services out of Wichita Falls. Just wanted to give you a little bit of background on the company. We were started in 1989. We have 4 locations currently. We have one of the largest we are one of the largest third-party administrators in the country. And we also have one of the largest consortiums in the country. We do about over 60,000 drug tests yearly. And we also have about 1,500 companies that we provide services to. And it ranges from individuals to companies that fall under state and federal regulations. We actually provide services for surrounding counties, Young County, Clay County, Wichita County. We also provide services to schools like Goldberg ISD, Bowie ISD, and Montague ISD. We just wanted to present some of this information to you and see if you had any questions. I know one thing that we like to say that makes us different in the industry is our training in synthetic urine. So our drug tests, DOT drug testing, which is what you will fall under for the county, it's urine drug tests and breath alcohol testing. Now, in recent years, there has been a rise in synthetic urine usage. People use this to try to pass their drug tests, try to get a negative result. But we're actually trained to be able to recognize the characteristics of this substance. And so whenever this happens, we go through DOT protocol just to ensure that we get a valid sample out of the donor. So this is one thing that I think separates us in the industry. Another thing that separates us is customer service. We have a 24/7 emergency call. If you have any accidents with any of your drivers, no matter what time of day or night, we have someone on standby available to come to you to do this, to do testing, or meet them at the office to do testing. So, do you have any questions for us?
Is this what y'all's pricing is here for this? I was looking at the top of this. I think I'm in the right spot.
On the service agreement? Yes, sir.
It's, make sure I'm at, this may not be yours, it may be, the safe, there's another one here, safe at alert.
Safe.
First one, I think, is safe. Do y'all, on y'all's random checks, do you come to us to check our drivers or whoever, just like, all we in the past really has tested our CDL drivers. We haven't yet decided whether we're gonna put the whole county 105 employees in the random test yet, but
Okay, so Fred is actually our on-site coordinator, so I can like.
That one
answer
will be
that.
determined by you, sir. I mean, normally we'll do the DOT ones, the ones that have to get done every year. But if you want to add some non-DOT ones, we can do that as well. With that being said as well, I know some of the drivers are different precincts. So it makes it a little bit easier. We can drive to those precincts and get them tested as well.
Yeah.
So we're mobile as well. Whatever is convenient, whatever works best for you, we'll help you guys out however possible.
well, if it's a random, we can have them to meet, or if it's gonna be a random, it's no problem having to meet here. Probably be easier for you to try and catch each precinct. However, as long as you're willing to either go to the precincts or to here or wherever.
Yes, sir. I mean, we're flexible. Like I said, whatever works best for you guys.
Go to the word.
Excuse me?
Top off.
This is theirs, isn't it? And it's down a pretty good ways, the DACTS. I don't know what page it is. Oh, it's on the,
42. 42.
it's got. You found it where it's not the DAT and CS. There's another one up at the top, is the safe at work.
Actual prices.
Yes.
Should be the one right now for it. I'm sorry.
Jennifer, right off the top of your head, we've got money set aside for drug testing. So we just pretty well budgeted out of each precinct here, pay for it. We probably need to, Judge, do this when the budget's going right now, is go ahead and set up a line item. Wouldn't that, you think we need a line item for this drug testing? And then we can decide who we want to go with on it.
Okay.
And that's something.
Yes.
Is that something we want to do about precinct, or each precinct have a line item, or we want to have?
Have whatever we've got to have. If we have to have some money in there, we will. I'm sure that we'll have to pay it out of our precinct, but that's no problem. I'm looking at the one here.
In the application.
But this is the whole service.
There it is.
But y'all, there's a third largest safe at work is another green here. Okay. Do you have a copy of that?
So this, I brought this for you.
Okay.
This is your copy.
If you've got another one, I'll make one of these copies right here. That'd be easier trying to chase it on the computer here. But I think that's what we do.
It's page 4
Decide who we want to go with.
of the 9.
And there's so many, we had so many pages on the,
Bobby, pricing, is pricing on that or not?
it's on it, Roy. I can make you a copy of this here.
You should have it in your packet. It's page
It's in
4.
the email right here. group here is farther down on the email than the other one.
I think I'm seeing on page 4 of 9.
But the main thing is y'all will come to wherever we need you then.
Yes, sir.
And like I say, after hours wasn't no problem. If we have a wreck that's, well, I'm gonna say, not really after hours, but
Even early in the
Anytime.
morning, sir.
Yeah.
Like, so we had
5
some.
o'clock on Friday, if we had a wreck, or 4 o'clock, whatever time, we're usually working, 7 to 3:30.
Yes, sir.
But our hours are from 8 to 5:30, so
Yeah.
any time between them is regular hours, but we're still available anytime
All
outside
right.
of that.
And is there, if, say it is, do you charge more for coming down after hours?
We do have an after-hours fee,
Okay.
yes.
Well, one reason I asked that, if we ever did get called out on a emergency deal at night and have a wreck or something, we'd have to have it then.
Right.
Yeah, of course, we've got the sheriff's office that are out 24/7.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but we just need to work this out in budget time and go with one of these two.
All right. Any other questions?
I appreciate y'all coming down to this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Larkin?
Thanks for having me over. I've been by y'all's place, y'all got a nice facility up there.
Okay.
We do everything that your regular drug testing program can do. Normally what we like to do is we have a contact person within the county that we deal with. We can come in and set you up any kind of a drug testing program you would like. I'm not sure who all we do out of our Arlington Hall, that's our main office down there. I know we do all the sports teams, we used to do Dallas Cowboys, which I was supposed to got, didn't, and I'm still mad about that. But anyway, we do railroad, we do several cities down there. We have a full location there on Main Street in Arlington. I've been doing this about 15 years. I've traveled all over Texas on call outs and doing randoms. I'm getting a little old for that since I had my 80th birthday the other day, but I still get bored sitting around the house. We do boogie over there. We sit down with them, work out a program for them, not only to test their DOT drivers, but also randomly test everybody in the county. If y'all decide to choose us, I'd like to have a contact person to deal with. Y'all tell us what y'all want, and we'll set up a program and give you an estimated cost on it. We do randoms over there every quarter for the city, and I know we do UPS, we do prison guards at Wichita Falls. We, like I say, I've been pretty much all over the state of Texas back when we had an oil field. If anybody remembers what the oil field was like, But we'd be glad to work with you any way we can. Set you up a custom program. If you want to test everybody in the county on a regular basis, we can do that. One thing we do when we come out to a post-accident drug test, of course, we do a DOT drug, we do an alcohol test, DOT if they're DOT drivers. We also do a collective specimen, then we'll also do an instant test. By doing the instant test, the city over there, if the instant test is negative, they allow the employee to go right back to work pending the results of the drug test from the lab. This keeps the employee very happy because they're not losing any time. And I'm not sure if anybody else does that or not. That's just standard stuff, something standard that we do. And if you got any questions, you can call me, got my cell phone number here. You have any questions, call me up. I'm glad to talk to you. Got any questions now, I'll be happy to answer them.
Do you happen to have anything printed off, Mr. Largent, like this one here that I could print it off of, no problem on this?
So that our charges,
Yeah, the charges and the servicing. Where is y'all's? Do y'all have a main office located?
it's on Main Street in Arlington, Texas. 307 West Main. I can send I've been dealing with Denise over here. I don't know if she's here or not.
Yep, she's
There you are. And I can get you know, whatever information you need, you contact her and I'll be happy to get it.
Let me ask you something
Or you want.
on the random, well, I'd like to have, I'll make a copy for everybody else, but on the random drug test, do you say, like say, if we went with all of our CDL drivers, do you put all of our CDL drivers in a system that's how you get your random test out of it?
We have, all drug labs have a computer program that does that.
Yeah.
And they put them in there and they say, okay, we need to be in compliance, we got 100 drivers, we need to say test 50, we need to do 10 alcohol.
Okay.
And it's all picked by random numbers. We don't put their names in a hat and throw it out or nothing.
Well, I figured that is right. I didn't know how many, is the 100 the maximum, or, you know, to be able to get everybody tested once a year?
No, it don't matter if you're over at Bowie, we only have like probably less than 10 CDL drivers over there. And they're in the program.
It's actually a list of whoever's in Montague County that you randomly do, then you don't mix them in with other names.
No, it'll be
Okay.
individually, it'll be a specialized program just for y'all.
Okay, I'm with you then.
Now, see, when we do UPS, they got thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and another company pulls the names, and they send the names out
Yeah.
to us.
I didn't know if it's just set up specifically for Montague County. Yeah.
We can't take any action until we study this a little bit.
And we can do it during this budget time, and, you know, we'll have to set aside a little money. Yeah, we've got to decide whether just everybody or just the driver, just the precinct driver.
So any other questions?
I appreciate y'all coming down. That at least gives us something we know to go with here.
Mr. Fennell, do you have any input?
We had one more that responded that wanted to be here today, but they didn't get back with us until Friday afternoon, so we didn't have time to get them on the agenda. We'll try to get them in maybe next time or something. To discuss with y'all, but like I said, I just wanted you guys to ask these guys any questions that you have and decide if y'all want to do all employees or if you just want to do the CDL.
Of course, that'll be a discussion for another day, so.
Yes.
All right, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much.
All right, item number 10, discuss and consider replat of lot 227 and lot 228 Silver Lakes Ranch, phase 3, and take necessary action. Is that yours?
Yeah, it's fine. That's make the motion that we replat them two lots together.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Mayfield and a second by Commissioner Darden. Any discussion? All in favor? All the way for. Item number 11, discuss and consider approving the county transportation infrastructure fund grant program, resolution and agreement. Take necessary action.
Judge, I put this on here, and when we first filled out all the paperwork to apply for this grant, wasn't really under the impression that we had to have a resolution, but Debbie had talked to, we got an email from Alan Moore, the one that oversees some of the grant work in Wichita Falls, and to get our information to fill out the agreement with us. He mentioned he'd just send us the resolution. Well, you know, like say they didn't require one, but the resolution that we used on the last search grant, it went back and researched it, and everything on the new stuff matches the old grant other than the money and just changing the amount of money that we were awarded, and the 20%, we're still at 20% matches what we get to come up with. I think this right here will work. We've got it all changed. Y'all help us in the office. It gives everyone the signature. I think that's what they wanted for it, is verifying your signature. When you send in work to them for reimbursement, they've got a copy of your signature and the judge's signature. It did ask, it designated as its county representative and authority, but We didn't do anything on the last one either. We didn't designate a certain person, so I think it's just gonna really, if we have to change something, we've got really plenty of time. But I think with this agreement or this resolution, it will give them everything they need to fill out the paperwork and get us rolling with this.
I thought that you were our contact last time.
Well, maybe I was, but we didn't have anything on the last one that showed a contact. The judge signed everything and
And then
then,
just let put you down for it, so it's covered, and we don't have to worry about it.
well, if they're gonna require it, I'll just put my name on it. But like I say, when you send in your work, you have to sign off. Everybody in the precincts have to sign off on their stuff anyway they're turning in. So that, I'll talk to Alan Moore up there. If he does require a county designate, I'll just put my name down if that's good with everybody.
And I'm understanding that Mr. Riddle reviewed this.
Yes, correct. Clay reviewed this and I handed it to him and he thought, unless they change something and want something different, and I don't think they will, I think this thing is pretty well basically like it was the last time. And if it did, we've got plenty of time. Most of us, I'm not, but others are still working on FEMA projects. So this thing's gonna be fine. Like I say, it gives each signature, and with that, I'll put that in the form of a motion to approve this resolution / agreement and authorize the certain signatures that need to be on it, which is all of us and the county judge.
And designate yourself as.
And designate myself as the contact person.
Second.
So we've got a motion by Commissioner Langford. We have a second by Commissioner Garden. Any further discussion?
I pulled the trigger early, so.
All in favor? All voting for.
You have a copy of this. I wonder how many copies you need, Linda? Just one for you?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just keep in a folder of everything. I'll just keep this copy here.
All right, then item number 12, which goes along with 11, is discussing, consider the notice of eligible grant award to all precincts in the amount of $389,197 and take the necessary action.
I also put this on here, Judge, and I think everybody's seen the copy of the grant after they went back and approved it. I think there was $24,000 added to Montague County from what we originally thought we were going to get. And that's what this total is, $389,197 is the total grant award for all 4 precincts right there. We just need to, like we did last time, figure out how we want to split this up. And
I thought it stated that we had to split it percentage-wise of what we requested.
well, that's how we did last time. That's how precinct 1 had quite a bit more than the rest of us, but it was justified right there. They had quite a bit more damage at the time. But and it is according to the work that you turn in is what makes the total right here. So,
We ain't going to approve it now.
well, I think we do, and go ahead, that way we'll know each one of us will know how much money we
They
got.
showed me the breakdown the other day. I'm good with it, y'all. I got a lot of thing work to do yet anyway. Yeah, I helped Debbie figure that. I'm fine with whatever.
I'm good with it too. Do you have a copy
You
of that?
figure very good. You got last name back. I got a lot of things to do.
Yeah, I've got a lot of damage in the north part of the county, but I still have stuff in the north field burning me up in north of St. Joe, so I need to go back on the roads.
I don't have any.
I've got a copy of the exact amount, Linda, that I'll get to you right after court. I might need it now.
You need to get it.
If you got, yeah, I better go ahead and that way we can read it out now.
When's this gonna start, Bob?
It'll pretty well start immediately. And as soon as I get this resolution to them and everything's good, I think it'll start immediately.
What's the time frame on this?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah. I didn't know that through the first one, and Mark he found it on the next, when he read or listened to the audio the next round. But that's probably 5 years from whatever day they put that that thing out, so it's time's clicking, 5 years is a long time, but the older you get, the shorter it is too. I need it, I've had, my surge work I've had split up mostly between FEMA and surge. Everything I've got that I spent surge money on is deteriorating very fast.
What are you guys calling this one? It's not search, is it got a different name?
No, it's the same thing.
CTIF?
County Transportation Infrastructure Fund grant. I'll give you this right here. Everybody's seen this. Mark's one that punched in the amount. Tell you what, you just read it out on how you exactly decided that.
Well, the way I read that letter was that we were supposed to get it on the percentage that we requested, which was just a guess. We didn't, have a.
Not till we turned in the hard number.
Right, and so the percent, I did the percent of what we requested per precinct, and then I turned it down to the number that we actually had. So that came out, the precinct 1 was 58,379.55. Precinct 2 was 136,218.95. Precinct 3 was 46,703.64. And precinct 4 was 147,894.86. And that was down to about the 10th decimal point, as far as close as I could get it. So, and if we need to have Charlie check our numbers on this, more than willing to do that. That's how I came up with that number.
I'm going to say, I'm done with FEMA, I can use it.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I've got more than I can say grace over right now. Or trying to deal with the government.
All right. So do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion to split them up to 389,197 like Mark read it out, and Glenda's got that copy.
Second.
You've got a motion by Commissioner Langford, a second by Commissioner Murphy. Is there further discussion? All in favor? All voted. Discuss and consider precinct 1 line item budget adjustment of $50,000 from gravel to part-time. Take necessary action.
Yeah, it's on here, I need to move 50,000 from my gravel to my part-time on the way we're growing there. Hope that'll get close to finishing up.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Darden, second by Commissioner Langford. Any further discussion? All in favor? All voted. Item number 14 is discuss and consider permission for precinct 3 to enter Carl Kirby and Bill Bronzek property on Kirby Road to repair drainage and take necessary action.
Judge, I just need to get in and clean some waterways out on Kirby Road. Need to make a motion to enter the Carl Kirby and Bill Fonseca property. Just do that.
Second.
All right, so we've got a motion by Commissioner Murphy and a second by Commissioner Langford. Any further discussion? All in favor? All voted. Number 15, discuss and consider precinct 3 selling equipment at auction express, and removing items from fixed assets and take the necessary action.
I put that on there. I've got a few items. Down to those. I have 2 pickups, a grade all, a utility trailer, and a pump, and then some miscellaneous toolboxes I need to. And I've got the VIN numbers for Linda and for Jennifer, so we can get them off fixed asset. We already have an agreement with Auctioneer Express, just as a continual. I just need permission from y'all to sell those items at auction. So, make that informed first.
Second.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Murphy, a second by Commissioner Langford. Is there any discussion? All in favor? All voted for. And then item number 16, listed as budget workshop. I don't currently have any requests by any public, any of the county officials that wanted to talk. Do you have anything
You, Jeff.
Jennifer gave us because I guess pretty updated list, Jennifer.
Yes.
Give us-
That's what's over last year's budget, isn't it? In the highlighted, what you give us.
That is what is not in the proposed budget that's filed with the county clerk.
Okay. I mean, while we're talking about the budget stuff on this drug testing, do you think it needs to be according to how we do it? If it's everybody, we'll have to have each precinct set up a line item, won't we, for a certain amount in there for drug testing? Or let me back up, we put so much money in there for safety committee. You know, if she needs something like that, could we pay it out of it, that it's already there? Or does it need to be a separate line item that specifically states that?
I think it really depends on what direction the court goes with how they're going to apply it. If they're going to apply it countywide, then we probably need a line item in non-departmental. Or, yeah, because there's no, or the HR department. However, I don't know. It depends on how you apply the drug testing. If it's countywide, I think it all needs to come out of one line item. If it's primarily for new hires to the county, then that, you know, new hires, post-accident and CDLs. And then I guess you could do suspicion, like they left me. Because I haven't seen any of that stuff, so.
You know, we'll have time to review it a little bit there.
Thing, we're talking about HR attack in Austin. I really think the only thing that's going to be a question here is whether I think the only people that are going to be random tested are going to be the CDL reps. I think what the only question is as far as new hires. And I don't think the balance of the employees are available.
That's not CDL drivers or anything. So office workers or stuff that wouldn't, you don't test them. Correct.
Except for post-accident.
If Ty could let us know for sure, and if we didn't go that route, that would save us quite a bit of money.
And we'll talk with them, and they've actually said that they were willing to come here and do a presentation with us, but I really think that's what we're going to do. And that would save a lot. We're not talking about all the employees.
Well, if we went that way, we'd nearly have to do it with each precinct. I mean, if we're only drug testing the precinct for drivers, CDL drivers.
You know, we'd have, if like
Or
the
the
sheriff's
same.
office does
Yeah.
post-employment, and of course, post-accident.
They'd have a line item in their sheriff's department for drivers.
Do we have to do that on anybody that's hired here? Do you have to do it for employment?
Do we have to?
Don't.
I can't answer that off the top of my head. I don't know if TAC is requiring us to do post-employment or not.
Post,
Pre-employment. You can do pre.
you can, it's not
Can.
required.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not
you can.
required.
Not for
I don't think
everybody.
it's required.
Okay, just CDL drivers, right?
Well, we're not doing CDL drivers now, pre-employment. We're just doing that random.
We've got to make up our mind what but if TAC's sitting there telling us that we can't randomly drug test county employees that work in these offices, that just simplifies things a little more to me. We do need it on our personnel policies to state that.
We gotta have a certain amount of CDL drivers anyway, don't we? A certain percentage.
Well, according to these people, they set up, if we've got a total of 25 CDL drivers, that's the system that they operate. And they randomly out of the 25 once a year. So I thought before that we would be grouped in with, say, 200 or so, and they rotate, but it's just strictly Montague County. whether it's 100 employees on the drug testing or just their CDL drivers. They sound like they set it all up specifically for Montague County. Each company.
And I really think the choice is gonna be pretty important.
What's the reasoning that they can't test everybody?
And I won't quote the statute to you, but it's my memory that unless you're CDL, that you're not available to be random tested. And we'll touch base with HR in Austin with TAC. I'm comfortable that's the case.
I worked for the city of South Florida, we had 1,400 employees, and everybody was part of that.
We'll confirm and see.
Well, myself, I don't think you need to do it. I mean, just CDL drivers, but I'm good either way. I just know we've been getting along real good, and I think each office holder, if they suspect there's drug use, they call it.
That's a different issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different issue. If you have suspicion that you have an employee that's using drugs or alcohol, or the case may be, with that you can designate them as a tested person.
We haven't had a problem in the past, and if there was, usually the elected official office holder can take care of that, so. Doesn't matter to me.
Well, and again, of course, that's talking about the policy, and we're not going to be able to get that up right now, so anyway.
I have a question on the DA deal, Clay. You might be able to run this portion that she's asking for. Does part of that come from Clay and Archer County?
Yeah, the DA's always split 23. I don't know what's been submitted to you guys.
Well, part of it's coming from the DA forfeiture account, but it's not all coming, so. We'd obviously have to pay for the group insurance, maybe.
If I'm reading the same thing, it's 11,000 group insurance and 10,000 from the county for partial funding of the second DA.
Right, and she's taking 61,662.50 out of the forfeiture account. I was just trying to figure out.
Yeah, and I don't know how it's been broken down, so.
I guess that would be what we're putting into it.
No, that's the total, so ours would be half of that.
Half of that.
Now, are you talking about the 61,662?
No, I'm talking about the 10,000 that she requested come from general.
Okay, in Archer and Clay split the other half of it.
No, that 10,000 that's in, that she's requesting put in general, we would actually see a $5,000 cost. Clay and Archer are gonna split the other 5,000.
I thought that's what I
That's
asked.
what you said.
Well, you said it different.
I'm with you though.
Okay.
You didn't put that auditor lingo.
But thankfully, I can't. What about the group insurance? Do we split that with Clay and Archer? Okay.
Yes,
So that we would only pay about half of the 11,000.
yes.
Okay.
10,5.
Okay. All right, I'm with you now.
The DA investigator don't need a vehicle.
That's for an assistant DA, second DA.
No, the vehicles for the
Yeah,
DA.
it's the investigator.
Okay.
Good on there.
That's it.
That's the forfeiture account.
It's coming out of the forfeit.
No, that's a question mark, because she requested it out of general. And if it wasn't approved in her general fund budget, where Clay and Archer would be helping pay for it, she requested it out of her forfeiture fund also. So that's a decision the court has to.
What kind of problems would have a vehicle?
I don't know.
I don't think anything really as far as that goes, but do you know, Jennifer, how much money is in her forfeiture account total?
No, and I can't get the internet or my phone to work in here, I can tell you.
That's all right. I think there's quite a bit in there. I will mention one thing. At one time, didn't we have this second DA part of this funded from the general fund a few years ago? And then when she didn't request it, we just took it out.
Well, she didn't fill it.
Yes. And we took, it was like $50,000 that we were funding on that second part, if I'm not mistaken.
It could be. I know she started out and changed it, and some of it was from the pending, and then we moved some of it to,
Well, and one of the reasons, I visited with her here a couple of months ago over what she was thinking about trying to do. And she knew that she could fund it out of forfeiture account for a while, for a few years. Asked me if we would be willing, if we thought we'd be willing, actually, if I was willing to do a little of it. I told her, I said, all I can tell you is you put down what you think we could help with, say 10,000, that's the reason she put this. I said, all I know is when we get into the budget stuff, then we'll know whether we can or we can't.
I think like the last time we talked about this, she had somewhere between 400,000 and 500,000.
I think that's probably accurate there.
That was the only question I had, Judge.
Yeah. If we're on this, we back up here and visit on a couple of things since Marshall's here. You haven't presented your budget yet, have you, Marshall? I guess not only, what I'm looking at is probably the only changes that you've made in it is the software and the K9 expense. You want to wait and bring your, present your whole thing or visit little Betty?
Mr. K9, and I'd like to, and then come back.
Now, that's about all I've got here that's marked that. This Spillman software deal, that's the original budget, I guess, is 19.7. Is that correct, Jennifer, over here on the left column?
yes, that's
It
correct.
was 19, and the total budget is 88.6, so you're asking for an increase of 68,901. What exactly is that for right there?
Dealing with Spillman,
Yes.
that's a new program right now. We have Justice Solutions. It has 7 licenses that we use. We need to double that, so I'm gonna, when I go back to ask them to double those licenses, more likely they're gonna raise the price on us also. For instance, where we have the dispatcher, they normally got 2 licenses open because there's 3 different for jail, CAD, and a report writing system. And when they have 2 licenses open, then the bookend has at least 2 licenses, maybe 4 licenses open. That takes 6 licenses. Then the deputy gets on there at 7. We got 2 deputies. Somebody's out of luck. I went 3-4 days at a time before I could even get on the system because there's no licenses available. So I'm kind of at least worried about getting on the system. So I just let them work it. To actually work everything, and if we have full staff going, we have a power shift going with 2 or 3 deputies going, we need to double that license amount. So, and like I say, when I go back to them, just like the medical, I think it increased some because we know there's going to be at least a 4% increase. We held that off for 2 or 3 years now. But probably when I go back to Justice Solutions, they're more likely going to increase that, plus we're going to double the cost of that. So Spillman has so many more different things. We've got the Motorola cameras. It'll interface with that. We can put the videos on there. We can put pictures on Spillman. We can statements. All can be added in there. Where Justice Solutions, they're putting a file and a paper copy because we're not able to put those in the system. Just like we've got print out of the pros and cons and Justice Solutions. I can get y'all a copy of the pros and cons of the company. We've checked with several different software companies, Tyler. Of course, we got Justice Solutions now. We've talked to Prologic. That's the cop sync. We'd actually, if we do Spillman, we would cancel the cop sync, and that would save us money also. Because right now we use cop sync out the cars. With Spillman, the
with Justice Solutions, if the guys are in the middle of a report and they get a call and get up and leave, it times out in like 15 minutes and that report goes away. So then they start it over again. And since NIBRS has become NIBRS compliant, before they can even start their probable cause affidavits or other reports, they've got to wait for the jailers to book the person in. And then they can start the probable cause affidavit and then start on their report. So it takes them off the road. If we got a new jailer back there that's booking people in, it takes an hour and a half. They're sitting there for an hour and a half before they can even start booking in. And we got 2 people, for instance, one morning, they get off at 6 a.m. 2 deputies made arrests. They already had 1 or 2 people already in front of them. So they're tied up for 3-4 hours before they can even start their reports because it's shut down. Spelman, they can actually start the report on the side of the road. They can have the probable cause done. They can, everything sends back to bookend. They already have the information if they got on the road. So everything can be started before they even leave the side of the road. You have the probable cause done before the record gets there.
What are y'all using now, Marshall?
Justice Solutions. It's 3 different systems. I'm not real technical savvy as just but
Are we under contract with Justice Solutions?
we've had Justice Solutions for several years. We just have to give them the notice that we're going to be we don't actually renew it. We just automatically renew. But we give them the 90-day notice. One thing about Spelman, it's going to take nearly a year to get everything changed over, all the data migrated, the training, and everything. So that's the reason we like to go ahead and get going. Another thing is Spelman, they train us. They also have online training. They have updates and maintenance is included, which Justice Solutions hadn't done an update since I've been in office, and before that at least. So it's just so much more for Spelman. We got a whole page of cons on Justice Solutions and a whole page of pros on Spelman. It's just main thing is it keeps our guys on the road. They can get people booked in. It's a whole lot easier system. They have they can look at the calls. They can assign themselves to calls. And one of the biggest things also is the fire departments. We go under our system. They can get tablets to put on the fire trucks. They can be dispatched. They can do everything under our license. It's unlimited license. Justice Solutions has 7 right now that we pay, and we have to double. And this Spelman has unlimited, and the fire department they have certain access. They couldn't get on there to see certain things. It's just how we set it up. So fire departments, EMS, they would interface with the DA's office, could look at stuff. Once we do a report, we'd send a thing saying this report's ready. The DA's office would look at it right then instead of waiting until we print everything out. Just so many more advantages. And the main thing for me as an administrator, gets my guys back out on the road when they're looking for burglars, just going to sit in the office or leaving and coming back and having to start all over again. It's redundant on Justice Solutions typing in things. Sometimes 2 or 3 different times you type in the same information. And then if it's different offenses, there's got to be a report for every one of those, which Spelman puts them all in one neat package. So, and it's no going back and forth between the jail side, the CAD, and all. It's all, I don't know what you call that, but it's all in one neat system.
And that is, Spelman is I'm familiar with it. It's a great product. So, and I think what you're talking about is when you do those entries, it auto-populates everything.
Yes.
So are they telling you that the fire departments are going to be able to log in and use this without a user cost?
Yes. If we go under our thing, you just have to buy tablets and all that to be able. Actually, the deputies or fire departments can use a smartphone also. Understand it. It also has an analytical program that we tried to get to bring that because that was $88,000 to get a crime analysis program said we'd like to get it's included in this because we can put in names, vehicles, addresses, it gives a tree of who all is associated with it. We can click on that person, it gives another tree, something we think is weeks, to build a conspiracy case, we can do that in just a matter of days, right? And that's included in it, but it's just part of the program, which if we buy that separately, it's, I believe, $88,000.
This is a contract you get into for about that time.
Yes, there's different breakdowns, so I'm not sure if we gave you they gave us, I believe, 5 scenarios of how you pay, but it's like a contract we do with them. And it's under Motorola, our cameras are already Motorola. That's another thing, Just Solutions, they don't have as long a track record. Tyler has only been around like 3 or 4 years, I believe, or with the law, and they're just now developing law. A lot of these programs, we checked on several of them, gone to several agencies, and they have nothing, we didn't have any negative things on Spillman from all the other agencies we checked with. We actually spent some time down in County, I think we went down and checked with their dispatch. They had 6 dispatchers going, and every one of them bragged on it. This is so much easier. It logs everything. Every time somebody puts something in, they can talk back and forth on the computer without having to use radio, and all that's logged.
So the 88,000 is a conversion. You don't know what the yearly would just depend on what package you pick.
Yes, they gave us several scenarios on you can pay more upfront and then the maintenance cost, and they had the purchase price in there, or you can purchase software and just maintenance, or it can be spread out. They gave us maybe 4 or 5 different ways to do it.
So that 68.9 will cover the data conversion?
It's starts out to 68, 69, and the rest of it's paid over the next 3 or 4 years. That includes the data conversion.
Will this original 19.7 that's in there for software cover that cost, annual cost?
The annual cost is going to be, it's going to be an increase from that. That's the reason I'm saying if we increase the Justice Solutions and
It ain't about 88,000 years.
I think that's what the court needs to see is the breakout of what is a one-time fee and then what's gonna be the ongoing annual.
Okay.
Yes,
And then we can also offset it by the cop sync and justice, because those will be going away. And it'll give them a clearer picture of what's actually gonna be increasing.
And that was my question, how much are we paying CopSync right now?
Well, right now, I have noted in the budget that they needed another $262,604 for that line item to be correct. So that's the current software needed. So that's included in that. The CopSync is in that 22,300.
And then sure, we don't know how much Justice Solutions will charge us or charge you for additional user licenses.
Justice Solutions, no, I haven't checked with them yet because kind of hesitant. Every time I ask somebody about increasing, they increase the prices on also.
but if we went with the Spillman, just for my, you'll be doing away with CopSync and Justice Solutions.
Yes, sir.
But like I say, that's what we need to know. This is what it costs to get it in there, but we'll need to see what it's gonna cost for Spillman on an annual basis.
If y'all don't have those breakdowns, I'm not sure we get put in the packet. I thought they were sent over, but there's
All I've got is the original cost here.
Did y'all entertain the thought of letting Charlie look at this? See what he thinks of all these software society and all that kind of stuff, and how he talks and lies, which if he understood what they're wanting, what would be the best thing for the buck.
Well, that's actually what Jessica's supposed to be helping with there. I think think she does a lot of work in the sheriff's department.
You said in with the Spillman, didn't you?
No, nobody ever told me when their meetings were or anything, so I didn't.
But they also said they would send a representative to talk to y'all if you wanted to about whatever they need to do. But, you know, we've got all these cons on all the other systems, but two cons between the 4 or 5 people sitting there on that, the two cons were the cost of getting everybody trained, which we did that the first year, and then they have online training, which Justice Solution doesn't have any training that I know of that we've gone through. I go down the hall and ask somebody how to use it, because it's, and now I'm messing up, because I'm not.
That's why they lock the user accounts. It's not that we don't have enough license. They just see you log on and they're like, no, we're better off not letting him log in.
And so is Spillman charging, thought they did an additional fee to come do on-site training when it's first hooked up?
That's, from what I understand, everything that they gave us is including everything. So we said we want to know just turnkey, what it costs to do it, so.
But a representative will come down here, Marshall, not the way to get them to come down here, we can visit with them.
Like I said, we spent all morning into the afternoon with them showing us all everything we do, and they said that's just the tip of the iceberg of what we do. Like I said, in the one program that Chief Lawson and I saw, that analytical program is just, I mean, it's an $88,000 thing that's actually built into the system. And then use the fire departments, they can sit a call over here, get their times, they can look on that tablet, it's gonna have everything, the call times, what units dispatched, just a whole lot of things that they can do. It's a whole lot more modern stuff. And then I keep my guys out there is my main thing, is keeping them out on the road. Had a gentleman come in a couple times wanting to talk, and knew we wasn't having the budget hearing, so maybe he was a software consultant or something, but he liked the program. We sat talk a couple hours. But, I say we've gone traveling to other agencies. There's other agencies using it. Nobody said anything bad about it.
And so this is for CAD, jail, and RMS?
Yes.
Are they converting your old data out of Justice Solutions into their new software?
Yeah, that's that would be included. Jordan, his last name. He's one of tell us all about how they would migrate everything over for certain things. Of course, I understand that stuff. He was telling me about it, but he said it would take, by the time to do all that, it's almost a year, you know, with all the training and everything. That's the reason we're trying to go ahead and get it rolling for now.
And with him coming down here, everybody asking him questions, we can get him on record with everything exactly.
Yeah.
No,
I'll get those plans and stuff, you know. I know it sent it to me, I was looking for it this morning, and if I don't email, but I've got an email where he broke down all the costs and over a period of time and just the different options. They really want our county to come, because Motorola just bought them out, and which is another thing. Motorola's not going away. We've got Motorola camera systems, so they're kind of wanting it just gives them more business whenever they can put in front of us, and then we can talk about how good it is.
well, you know, of course, everybody's aware how lean I really think, not just this year and next year, but one of my big concerns, Judge, is just get it as streamlined, and, you know, if it's something that will work and work, not today, not just today, but 5 to 10 years down the road. I don't know anything about software or computers much, but it seems like every time we turn around, we've got to change software, we've got to change something or something different. Well, this will work better. Well, I understand it worked better, but I want something to do. What's something that will take care of this for a few years down the road?
That's
And,
one.
you know, once we find out the maintenance cost and everything, I guess this is the next line item you had, Jennifer, that ups at 2604.
Right.
that's for what we've got now, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, with a little more information, we can, if this is a whole lot better deal, and works for y'all, makes everything work a lot faster, we'll see if we can afford it, but. Well, I know y'all, and one other thing on here, you've got the canine expense and new vehicle. I think y'all's pickups are paid for next year, aren't they, Marshall? Have one more payment after.
Yeah.
What is that for there? What's, he's had his canine in a vehicle already, hasn't he?
Yes, sir, yeah. The K-9 vehicle, it's getting pretty old. We've had maintenance problems like crazy on it. The air conditioning, he was in a pursuit the other day. He called in, said he needs somebody to take over the pursuit because his vehicle was smoking. I think he thought it was on fire, but he said it was smoking pretty bad. And the K-9, we also talked to the DA about maybe funding part of that out of hers. We have a little seizure fund money left. It's not maybe 13,000. But if we can get maybe some seizure fund money and whatever we've got, and then hopefully cut that down quite a bit. The new vehicles are about, I think we showed us 51,000. The actual vehicle that we're looking at is 57, 58,000. We'll whittle stuff out of there, like the camera systems and things like that we need, that we already have, or stuff we don't need.
It'll transfer. What kind of vehicle does it take for a canine? I guess a Tahoe or something like that
Yes, sir.
to put them in.
Yes. The Tahoe is probably the best. It's most room. With that cage in there, it takes part of the suspect cage area away, and then the air conditioning has we sure don't want the air conditioner of the vehicle to go down K9 in there, because then we'll have a mess. We see that all the time. K9 vehicle air conditioner goes out, we have K9 deaths. And our K9 program, I think everybody's seeing it's been one of the most beneficial things we've had. Got in pursuit the other day, equipment's starting to get old. The guy jumps out, takes off running, he goes to push the button for the door to pop, it doesn't. So he's thinking he's gonna have a partner, K9, run after the guy. He ends up chasing him, has to chase him on foot. Just because of the equipment problem. But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But it's just a lot of wear and tear on it, and it's been handed down. It was that vehicle's been with us for a while.
The cage and all of that canine equipment in there, have you looked at whether that will transfer to a new?
Most of it, the new Tahoe, it won't transfer wherever it can. Chief Lawson's kind of, him and Deputy Pelton have looked at wherever they can transfer over. That's the reason we cut down the price quite a bit. But a lot of it's just a different style on the inside is different.
My memory is that all that canine equipment costs almost as much as the vehicle.
It's I think we got 8,000 out of seizure fund last time we paid for the canine equipment, the door popper and all that. And then you got to have the air conditioner is what concerns me the most, because you sure don't want the canine air conditioner to go out. But it's we pieced it back together several times. The bumper is kind of unboarded on, and still making it work because it's a valuable program to us. But we've looked at new ones, and some of the equipment will change over, but a lot of it won't, just because of the new style.
You don't know exactly though what else it'll cost if we're able to fund a vehicle for this. Do you have the money to buy something that won't change over? Because it shows 51,870 here for the vehicle. Does that include anything that goes that will need to be in there for the K9?
That's the price with the K9 cages and everything that we have to put.
That's the whole total deal, then 51,870 for, that's the new cage and everything in there.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's what I'm getting at, is,
Like I say, we'd like to work with the DA's office to get, I know back in February, they talked about maybe paying for as much as half of the unit, and then we would have some senior funds that take a lot of that also, so that we, a whole lot, just gotta work out the details, I'll get back with you on that. So, our tire thing, I know, since I'm on this, our tires have increased because we're all pickups at the same times, our Fords, we're running some of those. We got one that we can't even drive because the tires won't let anybody drive it. I want to get in the other day, I'm gonna drive myself because it's just slick and the tires are worn out. But that's the reason for that increase. It pretty much doubled. That's gonna happen with replacing them all at the same time.
it's a ways before budget's over though, Marshall. Can you move anything around in your line items, go ahead and put the tires on it?
We're in the process of just keeping the ones that we got on the road right now. We're moving stuff around and keeping those going. And the pickups are all wearing out at the same time. Of course, our Fords, we replaced some of the Fords already before we got, or around the time we got the pickups, so we tires are not as bad, but we've got one that we've taken the tires off it, put it on one that we're using, and put the old tires on the one that is our spare, because it wasn't working for a patrol vehicle, but we actually, we didn't even send it, we send the old jail pickup to the schools, because there's no anybody wrecking out. Too much liability on it. But we're moving stuff around right now to make it to the next budget. There is a little increase on the next budget for tires, that's the reason for that. We got 7 pickups. We got 4 Explorers left, I believe.
We don't even have those numbers, kind of solid numbers for them all. We'll know here probably the next meeting on the certified package, I think.
I'll get those updated things. I'll get the bill and breakdown. That's not, I'm sure if that was in the pack or not. And, I'll visit with the DA about the seizure fund stuff, see how much we got, and give you a breakdown of that. To you next time. Yeah, they've got to be a pursuit rated tire. It's, actually, we've got pickups that were a little less speed just because the tires, and they don't raise the speed, which is different. Have them run that.
Anything further?
The DA has about 500,000 in her forfeiture fund. Can I ask the court to go ahead and take action on the plat revenue and plat expense lines? That's just offset and keep.
Let's put 5,000 in there.
Yes, in the revenue and the expense. And that's just to keep a balanced budget.
So that, that would be increased, that would just be to create that. Right.
Well, it's already been created.
It has.
Yes, whenever we redid the plat rules, they have to start paying us a fee, and then we have to turn around and we need a budget for that, because we have the expense and we have the revenue, but we don't have a budget.
Just need a motion to put 5,000 in the flat expense revenue.
Yes, in both.
Second.
I get that word, if that will work for you, Glenda. For 5,000 in the plat expense line item
And the revenue.
And revenue.
and revenue. That should pay it back, but let's start with something.
All right, so we've got a motion by Commissioner Langford, we have a second by Commissioner Murphy. Is there any other discussion on that? All in favor? All voted.
The only other one that I think that probably needs action today is in the fire departments. Lake Estates Fire Department closed, and so we can deduct $1,500 from that one. And
I make a motion that we remove Lake Estates Fire Department from our $1,500 annual. Help that we give them, that increase that line item by $1,500.
Make a second on that, I guess that this goes back into the general fund, doesn't it, Denver?
yeah, to just make this number down here get smaller.
Okay, so motion by Commissioner Murphy, a second by Commissioner Langford. Any discussion? All in favor? All voted.
So that department was dissolved.
Yeah, and actually, Milcom Rural is going to absorb what they have through the Texas Forestry Service. Most of it will be. So anyway, it'll go away. It's no problem.
One other question on the, for the salary, the 61,662 on the district attorney's assistant. I'm assuming that that's salary. Question. So the total benefit package that would actually be entered into that would come to what?
Plus that 11,010, well, no, the 10 is
But only half of
the
that.
group insurance of 1161 plus 11. But we only have to pay half of that, if I'm correct.
Right.
If we funded that, totally funded that, that's what the position becomes.
Yes.
That includes insurance.
Yes, insurance. Well,
Well, the total salary would be $71,662. That's what that employee would be paid.
that is insurance, social security and everything.
No, that's just salary.
So that's actually, that, it shows 61,662, but it's 71.
Because she's requesting 10,000 from general, and I
Okay.
just noted the total or the remaining from the DA forfeiture.
Okay, so it's 61,662 plus 10 is
Yes,
what the total comes.
plus the Social Security, Medicare, and retirement,
Which is going to be approximately what percentage?
24.
24%?
Is pretty good little amount there.
Any other questions? We have a motion to,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
motion by Commissioner Langford, second by Commissioner Jordan. All in favor? All voted for.
I guess we got some signatures on that resolution. But I'll give you this for that. You'll need that, or you'll need it just to go by.
They signed
Get
it.
there. Laura can make a copy.
Where is it? Judge was talking. Yeah, Yeah, they do, sign it. Before you leave.
Sign something there,
Roll that plat out, well, that resolution, yes,
There should be one in Kevin's notes.
I've got it here.
I don't. Yeah.
Have a Sharpie. Did Jack sign that original bond the other day for the new one?
No.
Yes, he does.
You said.
That's $300. No, he got like
Okay.
$300.
It should be there. So the information that you
Fair
gave
pretty
me
well.
today on that sheet, is that the information, or that's the request that aren't in the budget? Well,
So this is a different.
this is your.
I read it.
Right. Contingency leave expense.
And what about all this?
We have a
Stuff that has a sign.
Okay, so, but, and it lists the software.
Of course. I appreciate it very much, sir.
I know we do that. But it worked for a while. It's updated or something. Oh, yes. Well, just think how many times they open that door. Just, I mean, just.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now this is.
That's the nature of it. All right, well, I will
Just
look
be
on that.
certified and county approved and
Okay.
needs.
Have fun.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
One of my other guys just asked to be decision today. So that 3 days. Just found out about 30 minutes.
So it depends on where you're testing. And,
Draw my mind now since we done.
like, whenever we test, testing like Jacksboro, I'll get it back.
We had a lot and we just, we got,
If they go to this lot, it's too far.
Well, we
If they-
needed.
If they go, they come and get tested. Their insurance.
Yeah.
Take two up there. Because LabCorp
my
goes
question
to
is, do they have
California.
to pay all
And
that other
California's back up.
stuff?
We've got one waiting on 7 days.
300 and,
So a lot of it depends on
no, there's nowhere for it.
patients, whether they're doing insurance or.
Because it's a revision of
It's
the
just a
report.
If I look, I said,
Concrete
where
floor.
were you tested? They keep paying
And then
attention.
I don't know what's the difference, other than Chris didn't have insurance. He's part-time.
Glad I ain't
No
like-
mile
A
on
lot of
it.
Like I said the first day.
where they were tested,
Both of them have plenty of problems.
okay, then it has to do with their availability. So when you look at
Regardless. of what
logistics,
happens,
how does that reimburse?
Good question.
the
Water.
I don't know.
This pocket's gonna take 3 days, this pocket's gonna take 2. It's-
Well, because Chris paid for him coming.
And they got their money and they do it for free, otherwise they send it out. Because it's reimbursement. The tests are running like 300.